Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What is going on, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for the SHW podcast. SHW, this is our wrestling. I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield, alongside my broadcast partner, GB Gerard Bonner, and the always lovely Diana Michelle. You guys, it's finally great to have all three of us back together. It's only been 1 week, but it feels like it's been forever.
It really does. It's the way it is when family's not around. And it's like,
absolutely,
man, we missed you last week. We had such a good time, but we missed you.
I missed you guys. I was up in mid-Atlantic country in Virginia Beach, actually rode by the historic Norfolk Scope, the same place where a lot of significant wrestling moments have happened in WCW, NWA, WWE. Just a good time, but I missed being with you guys, and so it's good to be back.
Yes,
absolutely. Well, as you saw last week, GB, we didn't have our regular episode. It was more of a.
You guys crushed it. I totally love that. No, I'm serious. I was just like, yo, this is brilliant. And then my production mind was moving. I was like, this is I love it. It was great.
No, it was fun, but crushed it. How many times did I have to do my takes?
Nobody knows.
Well,
nobody knows.
Fix it in post.
Tell the secrets.
Fix it in post. It's all good. Nobody knows.
It looked perfectly natural.
Oh my God. I mean, I was sweating in my armpits. I was like, oh my God, it's just GB. I mean, it's just Brandon and Calvin. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I can't do it.
It was fun, though. It was fun we were at Dynamite last week, of course, in Duluth at the Gas South Arena. And it was cool because we got to see a lot of our SHW faithful that were there as well. So a lot of folks came by and said hi. You may have seen a couple of them dancing in the background in last week's episode. But,
right. Those guys are crazy.
We saw Mike and Cheyenne, of course, Cheyenne the sign girl and Mike from
everybody saw them. Front row.
They were down front row with their signs and stuff. And so that was cool. We were like texting with Mike the whole time because the way it was set up. So, right along the front row, there's security guards, and the security are sitting in folding chairs facing the crowd away from the ring, right? So where Mike was sitting, literally like knee to knee, facing the security guy.
Oh,
so they were having a stare down the whole entire time. Right. I was like, I wonder if they're like making eyes or something. Are they talking or they're like sticking their tongues out at each other or something? It was
right. Diana texted him to see who's winning the staring contest.
Hilarious.
And then they start looking up at us and pointing and laughing. It was pretty funny. But Mike texted us back and he goes, well, the point where Christian Cage got chased out of there by Jungle Boy, they ran right through that corner. And he said that guy took a spill. He said almost got knocked out because, he's not looking. They're looking at the crowd. So when the guys come barging through
jumped over his back.
Yeah. It was kind of wild. But they had the great seats. Yeah, it was a fun time. And
great show.
But it got us fired up, got us ready for the RumbleJack, which is next Friday, August 5th. Going to be at the Action Building, Canton, Georgia, 261 Marietta Road. You're not going to want to miss it. It's always one of our biggest shows of the year. And, of course, that's why last week we had the episode where we were looking back at some of the fun moments and big surprises and crazy eliminations and all that kind of stuff. So getting us fired up.
Of course, that's just a few of them, please. If you want to see all the fun stuff that we did not mention, jump on IWTV and go check out the first, second, and third RumbleJack.
Absolutely.
That's
right. GB, since we couldn't have you with us last week, just off the top of your head here, do you have anything that sticks out the last few years of the RumbleJack to you? Any kind of crazy moments, crazy memories? I know it was all good stuff, but it's just any particular?
There were a few that come to mind. I think about Nathan Mowry jumping off of camera to jump into the RumbleJack. Like, dude, what are you thinking? It just, it was crazy. Doors and mouse traps. And I'm like, dude.
Tables.
Tables. Like, you don't have to do this, So there's that. There was, of course, the ride of watching Joe Black finally win the RumbleJack. And quite frankly, RumbleJack 2020, the first really event that we had coming out of the pandemic, was so special on so many levels, just for us all to be able to come back. Big night for Joe Black, a night filled with surprises. But that had a lot of sentimental value. I think about also Stevie Richards, just like, wait, what? Like, are you serious right now? That was crazy. And then the surprise of last year, of course, at the David Ali inserting himself into the RumbleJack, which was unheard of at that point, having a champion in there. And it seemed like he won until the infamous number 31, where Austin Towers comes and wins the RumbleJack. So full of surprises, full of great moments, lots of significance, and I'm excited for next Friday, which I think is going to be a very, very special RumbleJack, given the environment that we're living in right now with SHW. Anything can happen. And so you'll want to be there. We'll be there. You should too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up. I'm glad you brought up that 2020 RumbleJack, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but that was one of those special shows where, like, I
almost got emotional thinking about it.
We were sitting at home for whatever it was, 5 to 6 months, and for us, especially, like, we love getting together. We talk every week, obviously, but we love at least getting together that one show every month, and it's like a family reunion. And so when you don't have that for an extended period of time, he was like,
don't know if it's coming back.
Right.
Or when, if ever. Yes.
Yeah. We were going stir crazy. And so to finally have that show and that big return, that was a really special one for sure. But like you said, next Friday, the 2022 edition, the 4th annual, is coming up right around the corner. So let's kind of dive in a little bit. We know a few things coming into that show. And of course, there is still a week until we get there. So we may have a few extra things that happen between now and then. But one of the big matches going into this show that we found out at the last show, Brooklyn giving Happy Madness a tag team title shot. So they'll be facing Hanson and Huck, All-Star Special, for the SHW Tag Team Championships. And of course, this is coming off the heels of one of the craziest endings to a show in SHW history, when Happy Madness, along with Carly Bravo, aligned themselves with Contra. And Brooklyn now kind of doing favors for the new members, I guess. But this is going to be wild.
Well, she's trying to build her group, and she's trying to reward them, I'm assuming, for falling to her command. And it just makes me wonder, what does she have over them that it seems like she can just bring them to their knees and put them under her command? And I'm trying to keep my phrasing and my language PG, because I could say some things that have been going through my mind the last couple of weeks, like, how did she do that? How many men right now are under her, I guess, covering, and why? How?
Yeah.
How? What did she do to get? I mean, okay, Dylan, I understand Dylan. She was torturing him and just giving him hell and making everything in his life miserable. He did what he had to do. Okay, what about Carly? What's Carly getting out of this? What's Sal getting out of this? What's Joe getting out of this? What's up? So,
by the way, you mentioned Carly, Joe, and Sal. Did you guys see the video earlier this week where Huck and Hanson approached Sal over this past weekend, I guess it was, and trying to get some answers, I guess. And there comes Carly and Joe running interference there, and I was like, oh man, this has bad news written all over it. And
that's what he said. But do you honestly think they got any answers out of Sal?
I don't. By the way, and GB, I know you said you aren't familiar with the theme song, but I did have to chuckle a little bit when Sal started singing the Friends theme song, of all things. And then at the very end, as if you didn't know what it was, he goes, Friends.
Friends. Just in case.
In case you didn't know what it was.
Gotta love the guy. I just want to pet his little head.
I want to love the guy, but that's the thing. He's turned to the dark side, and I don't know if he knows what he's doing or if he's just following the lead of Sunny Days. I
have the pity for him, because he is the way he is. He just, he goes where he's led. And GB.
Well, I'll just say this in terms of what Brooklyn actually could have to influence the other guys. I think it's a quick look at what she did with Cruel. The idea that in one night she managed to find a way to win control of the company, and then in the same night take him to the championship. So she can take him to the championship. Everybody wants to side with who the winner is. Everybody wants to be the teacher's pet or be connected to the CEO. And in this case, she's making the rules. Think about how many people were friends with Dylan, likely because he was in control of SHW. Now, I can't tell you how many of those same people are still friends with Dylan. I don't know. But what I do know is when people see a train moving in what they consider the right direction, they hop on. And so I think that's what's happened. Now, I don't know where this train is eventually going to lead, but I'll say this. If Happy Madness walks away with the tag titles next Friday, it's going to be very hard to argue with the success of what Brooklyn and Contra has done. And I'm going to say something that when I thought about it, I immediately said, Diana's going to kill me for saying this, but I have to say it. And it's going to create some problems in some places. I already know. So here we go. First of all, if Happy Madness wins this next Friday, we're going to have to make the argument about Contra perhaps being in the running for top faction of the year. You can make that argument against a tag team, of course, of All-Star Special. But the piece that's going to really grind Diana's gears, and I hate to do this.
You say gears?
Yes. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't even think about what I was saying. I'm sorry. My apologies for any mention to Tom Zink. I'm sorry, Mr. Zink. My apologies. So the thing that gets interesting here is if all this stuff plays out, then we have to actually give some thought to Brooklyn as Female Performer of the Year.
She's been up for it a few times, and I don't think she's come away with that award yet, but you're right.
And perhaps Booker of the Year. Who knows?
You could argue that too.
Very well.
Man, talk about if Contra has the tag title, have all the titles in the company.
All the titles. Yeah.
And she's already in charge. Like it's scary to think
got all
about
the power,
all the control in the entire company. That's
frightening.
That's scary to think about. Well,
but it could happen.
It could happen. It could very well happen. But it is All-Star Special. And
it is.
We have seen how far they've come in the last couple years. We've seen how much they've improved. Somebody like Hanson from where he started and where he's at now. This will be his 2-year anniversary. 2-year anniversary, right? Yep. Since his debut at SHW at the RumbleJack. And it was the 2020 RumbleJack. That's right.
Sure was. That's right.
And it will be interesting to see how they perform without their hype music, whatever it may have been.
By the way. Go ahead.
I think that with Hanson and Huck, I mean, they've got so much charisma. They've got their own hype. They walk in their own hype. They don't have to have music, but something's got to give. They got something working. I mean, something working. I've heard Hanson sing. I've heard Huck sing.
They were supposed to tell me when choir rehearsal was, and they haven't told me. So I'm sure there is a clandestine choir rehearsal somewhere.
This might not be this might backfire on Brooklyn. This might be one of the biggest changes.
Guys, I just had an idea. What if the answer isn't Huck, Hanson, or the choir singing? What if they enlisted Diana and we didn't know? Diana's singing them down to the ring.
Interesting. Well, I will
That's
say
just for us friends.
After we friends. Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry. Anyways,
now I have to learn the theme song.
After we talked a couple weeks ago, the last time you were with us, GB, and we talked about how one of the stipulations for this match is that Hold My Beer Hands and Huckabee do not get any entrance music, which is kind of one of the big highlights for all of their matches. Well, we kind of put it out there that, hey, what if the fans sang them to the ring? Who knows? And so on the SHW Facebook fan page, there was a lot of people going back and forth. What could they do? What could they sing? I did see where We Will Rock You by Queen had a lot of votes because it's simple. Everybody can do the beat. Everybody can chant the song. Like and that's a solid entrance song right there. Anyway,
I like it.
I don't know. I'm just reminding everybody that was put out into the ether. So if that happens, cool. But get it together, practice it, get it ready.
That would so work.
I want it to work. And that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to be like, trying to do it, and then it just sounds chaotic, and you don't know what they're trying to do. It's like
No, you'll have to have somebody lead it because you can't just be like.
right.
I mean, there's one thing I can't stand about music is when they are not on the same beat or clapping on the same
It
beat or
is
singing in the wrong tune.
problematic.
Oh my God! So no,
Mhm.
somebody has to lead that.
And we talked
Yeah.
about how, like, the Canton Youth Choir, as we have dubbed them, when they do sing along with the jukebox,
Mhm.
the song's playing, so it's easier for all of them to sing along. We always joke,
Exactly.
hey, always right on key, they're right on cue.
Right.
Well, with no music playing, I don't know how
Oh
on cue they'll
yeah,
be.
they have to
But
start in the
it's
same
a simple
key.
bump, 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 bump. But,
Uh,
if they could just get that and then start singing together, like, I think it could work.
So V has already got this song down for the entrance.
I see. I
Just-
see.
Diana
Oh,
has
boy.
to chime in and do the lead vocals, though, on the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yeah.
How about that?
And
Or
then I'll
GB.
have to continue doing commentary. No,
Or
somebody's
GB.
got to do commentary while y'all are performing.
Because I never got the
Can't
queen.
fully leave our posts.
I never got GB singing "She's Your Queen." I never got that, and we wanted it so bad it never
we
happened.
did.
Well, maybe the
Yes.
next time our queen shows up, then
Golly, where is
All
she at?
well,
Anyways,
she's expanding the queendom.
She's doing her
That's what she's
thing.
doing.
That's
She's doing her
I'm-
thing.
I saw her in Entertainment Tonight. How about that?
wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
There you go.
Woo.
Well, we're
That's
taking a
our
left.
queen.
We're taking a left turn, but let's get back to the RumbleJack.
You turned us that way.
I did. All I did
You're
that
the
for
steering wheel, like.
is because I know I'm trying to turn us back. It's only because I want to hear you singing the "We Will Rock You." Buddy, you're a boy, make a big no. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Another match that we just found out about this week, yesterday, in fact.
Mhm.
And Diana, I'm sorry to bring this up because
Uh-oh.
we're
God.
smiling. We were just smiling. We were just laughing and having a
Mm-hmm.
good time. And I hate to bring this up, but it is now officially on the card for some reason. In fact, I think I know what the reason is. Bryce Cannon is now getting another opportunity in a last chance qualifier match for the RumbleJack. It's an open challenge, so we don't know who his opponent's going to be. But the only thing I can figure, and we said this before, the reason, like, why did Exotic Youth get a tag title match in the first place? Well,
Mhm.
Brooklyn knows that Gary, that's Gary's least favorite tag team.
Sure.
So, of course, she's going to bring them in just to get under
Mhm.
Gary's skin. Well, then Bryce comes out later in the night and seemingly by himself decides he wants to have an impromptu RumbleJack qualifier. Of course, I'm guessing Brooklyn allowed that, again, because she's trying to get under Gary's skin.
Mhm.
Of course, he lost that match in record time to Jordan Kingsley. But now, all of a sudden, he's getting a seemingly last-minute, last-chance qualifier for the RumbleJack. Now, it's an open challenge, so I don't know who will answer this challenge. Diana, you want to step in there? And
Oh, you want me to do it?
sure. I would love to see
Okay.
it.
I'd love
Okay.
to see that.
In
I
fact,
mean, it comes close to that every time I'm in the ring with a guy anyway. So
yeah.
Mhm.
In fact, I know not just us. I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to see that. But I don't know who it's going to be. And what I hope happens, and I don't care if he hears this because I already said it last month on commentary, All-Star Special should have been the tag team of the year. That's just how it should have been.
Mhm.
So if they're mad about it, I don't care. But the thing is, I hope what happens this time is what happens when Jordan Kingsley got in the ring. Quick kick, boom, 1, 2, 3, match over. Pack your bags, hit the road.
well, after
I'm
he
got-
pitches
I'm
the
o-
fit,
I'm
he
over
has to pitch the fit. He has to be a little kid, little. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we here again? He
Again,
doesn't even go here. What's
then-
up?
Then there's that.
Yeah.
There's that. But
Okay,
I'll
it's
tell
a
you.
RumbleJack. We're inviting all the whatever in, and okay.
I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to be champ, and everybody wants to be champ at SHW. It makes perfect sense to me. Interestingly enough, these last few months, there have been these open challenges, these surprise opponents. And one thing that has happened consistently is those surprise opponents have delivered all the time. They've always been people we did not expect. And it made for an amazing moment and an amazing match. So the question now is, who wants to be in the RumbleJack bad enough to come in last minute to fight a match and then potentially end up in the RumbleJack later that night? It's going to be a great question. I don't know. The field, I think, is wide open.
Yeah.
So it could be almost anybody. But I do think that whoever it is, certainly if they are a regular competitor, should have a pretty solid opportunity against Bryce Cannon, I think. No knock to Bryce Cannon, but,
Sure.
I think they'll have a good shot against him.
Diana says, "Oh, you can knock Bryce Cannon. It's cool. No problem."
It's okay. I mean, he is fine. He'll be okay.
Hilarious.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
he'll get over it.
Yeah.
I was going back and watching. By the way, if you haven't watched it yet, SHW 41 is on IWTV, so go back
It's
and watch it.
great.
But one of the funny things, and I remember thinking it was kind of funny and unusual at the time, but going back and watching it, I had forgotten, and it made me laugh all over again, was when Jeremy Prater, junior official, grabbed the tuft of hair, the rhinoceros horn, whatever you want to call it, and I don't even know why he was doing that, and then like Bryce grabbed his hair, and there was some sort of weird thing there, and I don't know what was going on, but
Go figure.
it did make me laugh. Anyways, I don't know what's going to happen here with this Bryce Cannon match.
God bless him.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of folks already announced as entrants, and we're going to go through that list, and we'll touch on everybody that has gotten announced so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who, there's still a number of folks from the roster that are semi-regulars, that are regulars, and that may not have been announced, that maybe they step up and take this open challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. It could be somebody who lost one of their qualifier matches previously, and this is another chance for them to get in there and maybe get it. So we'll see. But
maybe Dave Stage.
Oh,
could be. I'd like to see Adam Priest.
Adam Priest would be awesome to see back. Who knows? Who knows? But let's get into the list of entrants that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there might be around like 12 or 13. Now, usually we're around 30 entrants total. Last year, of course, we had a surprise. There ended up being 31. I want to say the first RumbleJack, it might have been like 28 or 29, but it's always right around that 30 mark. Yeah. And I think we know of officially so far right around maybe 13 or so. So that means, that's a lot of folks that we aren't going to know until we see it happen. And last year, remember, was it last year, maybe the year before, we had like people from Anarchy showing up, people from Southern Fried showing up.
Dane Marks, Matt Hankins.
2020, that's when it was. Yeah. It got real weird there for a minute. Like, what is happening?
The original Forbidden Door.
But Absolutely. It's like, right. But it's like you said, GB, like when the SHW title's on the line, they're going to come from all over because everybody knows it's one of the most important titles in independent wrestling. So
absolutely,
of course, they're going to show up from all over the place. I mean, you even mentioned Stevie Richards, ECW legend, showing up to come and get a shot at an opportunity. So
Robert Gibson showed up.
Danny Jordan eliminated Robert Gibson. How crazy!
Right.
I mean, it was wow. You go back and watch last week's episode, or go on IWTV like Diana said, and just watch the previous RumbleJacks. But man, some crazy stuff has happened. Well, let's get into some of the entrants that we know of. Of course, at the end of the last show, we remember Contra kind of took over. You saw Happy Madness and Carly Bravo joined the ranks of Contra, and Brooklyn made the announcement right there in the ring, 2 Owen Knight and 2 Gunnar Miller, that Gunnar will enter at number 1, Owen will enter at number 2. So right away, those two guys have the tallest task out of anybody, because if they want to win the whole thing, they've got to run the gambit and, a full hour's worth of eliminating everybody else. So it's not unheard of, but I don't envy either one of those guys. So, I mean, what do we think? You think either one of those guys? I mean, they both have the pedigree to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
But
that first little bit of the RumbleJack where they're actually against each other as 1 and 2, that could be interesting. Do they work together?
See, that's one of the weird things about the RumbleJack is you see these like spur of the moment alliances. Now, a lot of times they're short-lived because, say, one of the big guys gets to the ring. Well, then some of the small guys might team up against them, but then they're going to have to go back against each other because at the end of the day, it's every man for himself. So
but these two, and I mean, you don't want to rank people, but Owen Knight is one of the longest and one of the most memorable SHW champions. Gunnar is prospect for that position, and to me, these are prestigious wrestlers in Southern Honor. They're important members of the roster, and I don't see them eliminating one or the other in the first bit. I think it would do to both of their advantages to kind of, get a little workout in maybe until the ring fills up or something, and then kind of work together to, I don't know, bust open whatever Brooklyn's got planned. I mean, they can do that, right?
I would hope so. I think both of them are very interesting to have at numbers 1 and 2.
Right.
I look at them as the reason that they're there is because I believe they're the biggest threats to the SHW championship reign of Cruel right now. So I think it's Brooklyn's opportunity to say, okay, here's the best way to handle this. As punishment, you're not going to be 29 and 30 or 31 or 35 or whatever. You're going
12.
to be 1 and 2, right? And now what I don't know that she's realized is it's certainly punishment for Gunner, who has entered usually, either in the middle or towards the later part of the RumbleJack. So testing his endurance is going to be something that we've not seen before. We used to see him in very quick matches. Then we started seeing him in slightly longer matches. Of course, last year at the anniversary show, what a match he had against Corey Hollis, just incredible. But we've not seen, if Gunner was to go the distance, we've not seen him go 30, 45, even 60 minutes. So that's going to be interesting. The flip side to that is you could argue that the Iron Man of SHW is the former SHW champion Owen Knight, who was in at number 1 last year, who had a very early pick in 2020. He knows what it's like to go the distance and end up in the last 2, the last 3, the last 4. So I think they're going to have a significant plan to try to get Owen out because Owen has proven he can last in there. Gunner is the question. Will he be able to last and go the distance, or how many people will be gunning for them? We know what Contra's into, but we don't know how many other hired guns they're bringing in. There's still a lot of folks that they could potentially bring in. And what's different here is we're not looking at a pinfall in the early going. We're looking at eliminating over the top rope.
Right.
There are a lot of people who could potentially do that to either of those two competitors.
Yeah. Well, I hope the best for both of them. I just don't envy anybody that has to get in there that early, especially after we heard about some of these other entrants that have already been announced,
right?
Namely 3 that are now part of Contra, those being Carly Bravo, Sal Renaro, Joe Black have all been announced as entrants. And with the way things are looking for Contra, and think about this, if earlier in the night, if Happy Madness goes on and defeats All-Star Special, they're going to be riding that high. Sal will then be half of the tag team champions in this match. And like you said, with Gunner and Owen potentially kind of gunning for Contra, and these 3 members of Contra probably gunning for those 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be tough, and I just can't wait. But I mean, Diana, you said it. Brooklyn's got some sort of plan. She's always plotting and scheming. I just don't know what it would be in this match, but I mean, she's got to have something up her sleeve, I would think.
I think we're in for some big surprises on as the match goes.
Yeah.
Towards the end, even I think she's known for it. So who's to say there's not going to be another David moment like Cruel injects himself into? Who knows? And then you have all of Contra maybe in there at the same time protecting Cruel's title as, man, who else is in this thing?
Well, let's go on down the list. We got Nagicism. Nagicism won his way in a couple of shows ago in a great match against Rob Killjoy. Now, Nagicism is one that every time we see him, GB and I are just blown away. We all are, really, at just what this guy can do in the ring. He's not the biggest dog in the fight, but, man, he's got a lot of fighting the dog. Or is that how it goes? Something like that.
That is exactly how it goes.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Well done.
This guy, I'm telling you, is fun to watch. I even said on commentary at the last show, if you haven't seen him in person, you got to make it to a show. I mean, you got to make it to a show regardless. But
Yeah.
this guy is fun to watch. Not just as a
He really
man.
is.
He could be a dark horse in this whole thing.
Sure could.
You know, a lot of people don't give the small guys a lot of a chance in a Rumble match like this.
Right.
But you never know, man. Gotta be
I think
quick,
they actually
you know?
have an advantage, though. I mean, the bigger you are, the easier it is to kind of maybe tilt you over the ropes. But
Right.
those little guys, I mean, they can zoom in and out between people. I mean, it's like it's their game to play. It's like little pinballs, you know.
Yeah.
I'm all about the smaller guys for the RumbleJack, definitely. And Naja's he's gonna be one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Well, on the opposite end of the spectrum, Michael Judas, the priest of
course.
punishment, has won his way into the RumbleJack.
Mm.
And
Mm.
here's a guy who he's not affiliated with Contra. You know, he doesn't have really any friends. Like the only group we know of was Lethal Poison, and they disbanded when Corey Hollis retired
Mhm.
at last year's anniversary show. So he doesn't really have any alliances. I don't see anybody really working with him to help him eliminate other people. Although a guy his size doesn't really need all that help. But
He has a rod.
Yeah, but a lot of other people are going to be gunning for him, obviously, because he's one of the
Yeah.
big guys. So
Right.
but I don't know. He's got a good shot at this thing.
He has a very good shot. Not only does he have a good shot, but he is working on a different level of intensity these days, an intensity that says he wants to destroy everything and ultimately become SHW champion. And for some reason, when you mentioned his name, that's the first time I actually got the picture of potentially him and Cruel going head to head. That could be very, very special. And I think, you know, of any of the people in the RumbleJack, he certainly has the tenacity to be able to go head to head and not be afraid of Contra at all.
Right.
So this could be a big, big problem for Cruel and for everyone else in the RumbleJack.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
You have Jordan Kingsley, who lucky for him because Bryce Cannon, it's lucky that Bryce did come out there and had that impromptu RumbleJack qualifier because Jordan ended up with the night off last month until that happened.
Right.
He made his way out, made short work of the fret baby. I'm not going to call him the fret daddy. Come on, that's ridiculous.
It's Brat Boy.
Oh, the brat boy.
Brat boy.
The Brat
Oh, okay.
Boy.
All right, then we'll go with that. But yeah, he made short work of him, and good for Jordan Kingsley because he was on such a hot streak, and then he lost that momentum when he lost to Carly Bravo a couple shows back, and so I felt like this was a good way for him to get his momentum going back in the right direction.
Absolutely.
He's got that win. He won that.
It wasn't in the ring long enough to get momentum. It didn't take that.
Well, yeah. but he's got the win. He's got the momentum going into the RumbleJack next Friday. So, and again, I still think that this could be Jordan Kingsley's year.
Yeah.
It just kind of hit a bit of a hiccup over the last month or two.
Sure.
But if he gets back going and gets in this RumbleJack and can pull it off, then, you know, things are looking up for Jordan Kingsley.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what a way it would be to cap off what has been, by and large, an incredible year for Jordan Kingsley. Only one loss all year compared to last year, maybe only one win. And so if he can get in the RumbleJack and emerge as the #1 contender, wow, what an opportunity for Jordan Kingsley. So I'm excited for him. I think he has a much better chance now than perhaps he's ever had inside of a RumbleJack.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And we said it before, and we're going to hear us say it multiple times, I'm sure. But as we like to say, they come from all over when an opportunity for the SHW title is on the line here. And so we have a guy named Adam Jacobs, who a lot of people might not be that familiar with recently, but he's a 20-plus year veteran, been in the business a long time, made his name in NWA Wildside, has held multiple championships throughout the state of Georgia. Took a bit of a hiatus over the last 5 or so years and was quoted as saying, let me make sure I get this right, "There's no other place I'd rather return to the ring than SHW, and there's no better time than the RumbleJack, where he'll become the next #1 contender for the SHW championship." So, how cool is that? A guy that's been around the block a few times, knows this business very well, has been around a while, took a little bit of a break, and there's only one place he would want to come back, and it's Southern Honor Wrestling, because he knows, like we all said.
Right. I mean, if you want to come in big, come in big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm for it. Let's see.
This guy has a great look. He's, like I said, been around a long time, did a lot of things in NWA Wildside, and I'm excited to see him. And he could shock everybody, because a lot of the people in the locker room, they may know him. They might not know him. I don't know, but I think they're going to find out real quick about this guy. Got a great look, great physique, great agility, great athleticism, and he could shock a lot of people, I think.
You know, and it's one of those things that I think about. This is also where the luck of the draw comes in, you know, the surprise element. I mean, I go back to, again, Austin Towers last year. You know, we had not seen him in months. I think many had forgotten that he could even possibly be a part of the RumbleJack.
Yeah.
And so he showed up, and he showed up as the last entrant. And when you show up as the last entrant and there aren't as many bodies in there, you're the fresher man, you get a major opportunity. And so I think this is a great opportunity for this competitor, because he has the X factor, and we have a lot of young guys in the locker room. You know, it's a strong possibility he's been in the business longer, or as long as some of them have even been alive. So when you consider that, that's a game changer. And I think he could really do some damage in this RumbleJack.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of veterans, another one we just found out about this week, Adrian Hawkins, who is no stranger to SHW. However, this will be his first time in the RumbleJack match itself. And he, of course, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because he came in with the approved, and they were doing some dirty tactics to get in the door in the first place, and then, you know, get title matches and do all these different things. And so he will be back.
They retired our buddy Logan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to bring it up.
I miss the guy.
Yeah.
I miss the guy. I do. I miss him.
Speaking of which, remember when he entered the RumbleJack?
I do.
Yes. I thought it was the Amble. I was like, what's
absolutely. Shout out Logan Chase. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah, we miss you guys.
Yeah, we do. Hope you're doing well.
But yeah, so Adrian Hawkins making his way back to SHW, going to enter this RumbleJack. You know, and however you want to feel about him is fine. But the thing is, he's been around a long time. He's actually earned some respect over the years throughout Georgia, throughout the different promotions. But he has not yet earned that respect in Southern Honor. And I think he has a point to prove to not only us, but the Southern Honor fan base that he has what it takes to be a top performer here in our promotion. And what better way to do that than win the RumbleJack, get a title shot, and win the whole thing. So we'll see what happens there. But so yeah, Adrian Hawkins. And let's talk about this next gentleman, who at the last show we saw a completely different side of. Actually, 2 shows ago, when he turned on Kyle Matthews and planted him with the brainbuster on the stage. Comes into last month's show, has a great match with Nagicism, feigns an ankle injury, fools us all.
Boy, did he. Oh, my God.
How dare he? How dare us for falling for it? Because then he ends up.
It was convincing.
It was. He had us all fooled. And Nagicism gets defeated there by Chip Day. And then Chip Day grabs the microphone and had a lot to say to the SHW faithful. But one of the most notable things was that, and these are his words, that he was going to throw every loser in the locker room over the top rope and then go on to win the SHW championship. So his words, not mine. But, man, talk about an attitude change, a new look, new music, you know, new hairstyle, like just a whole new Chip Day, man. But he's another one that could very easily win this whole thing.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say he doesn't. I mean, he's Chip Day for one. He's shown that he can be ruthless and he can take over, you know, whatever. And he's not afraid to face anybody or pile of people, actually. I mean, so I feel like he's got a good a chance to anybody else, if not better, to come out as winner. And wow, to see him come up for number 1 contendership would be something.
You know, I think that'd
be for it, man. I mean, I'm not for that.
I think that'd be the ultimate payback in terms of, you know, getting back at Kyle Matthews. I know he's still got a chip on his shoulder about Kyle Matthews, and he feels like Kyle Matthews cost him the tag team championship. So Don't say that. So,
Oh,
oh God.
were you about to?
Oh
Huh?
no, I can't
Are
say.
you
I
stirring?
cannot say that. No, that was
Huh?
not a stir. That was going to be very bad. So what
Well,
I will say is, I think again, this is amazing revenge for Chip Day. I think he probably would put Kyle Matthews in the rear view if he can win this RumbleJack, which now makes me wonder: have we heard anything about Kyle Matthews?
I would think that he is healed up by now. I don't know that for a fact, and I don't know.
Are his emotional wounds healed though?
That's a good point. I don't know.
who ever is emotionally healed completely? Come on.
Well,
You got to use that hurt. You got to use
Well,
that
that's true.
pain.
Mhm.
Well, and that's the thing, GB. Like I said, we're only announcing whatever I said, 13 or so that we know of. That means there's going to
Yeah.
be a lot that we don't know of,
Yeah.
and that we know to expect some surprises. In fact, one of them, and we forgot to mention this when we did our recap a couple weeks ago, but
Mhm.
during SHW 41, a video played in between matches with the Diamond Sheik talking on the phone
Mhm.
to his new client. And by the way, a lot of the fans of SHW might not be that familiar with Diamond Sheik. Now, Gerard and I know him from some other spaces. This guy is a jeweler to the elite, to the celebrities. I mean, comes from a lot of money, and he
Mhm.
manages some big-time people. And it appeared that he was on the phone with a new client, a mystery client that has officially been entered into the RumbleJack. We just don't know who it is. And we were told, what did he say? They were the international movie star.
That's what he
Something
says.
like that. That he would be
So
flawless.
yeah, so who knows
Right.
what in the world that means? But like we were saying, there's so many unknowns and so many surprises in a match like the RumbleJack. So I'm anxious. I'm excited to see who in the world it could be. And on that note, guys, I don't know if you just saw this on our SHW management. Just sent us a group text here. I've got some breaking news.
Okay.
Stand by. Let me double check this here. Well, I'll be darned. How about this? Jimmy Wang Yang will be returning. He'll be returning once again to the RumbleJack
Wow.
2022. Now, if you recall, last year, one of the biggest pops of the night was when Jimmy Wang Yang surprised everybody. That Big and Rich song hit, and the crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
And I think I even said on commentary, it was almost on par with an All-Star Special entrance. with the way-
Almost.
yeah, with the way the crowd reacted. And Jimmy Wang Yang came in and surprised us all. So, if I'm reading that correctly,
Wow.
he'll be back for 2022.
All right.
Just now
That's
got
pretty
the message
impressive. Wow.
from SHW management there. So
Maybe he'll stay in there longer this time. I don't know what his.
Well, you know,
I mean, last year.
he was a surprise
ahead.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was a surprise. There was his daughter of all people eliminated him.
Sheesh.
But it was crazy. Before he got eliminated, though, he was in there not taking people out. He hit the moonsault,
Sure.
and the
Yeah.
man, you still got it. I mean, he looked like he had not missed a step.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this is what the SHW Championship will do. It is an opportunity to really catapult yourself into the limelight if you're not already there. And so, we're seeing a lot of folks make comebacks in wrestling, and a lot of folks don't want to leave the sport, and I completely understand. So Jimmy Wang Yang gets another opportunity, and you guys can go back and check our archives and check out our interview with him when he talked about being a part of last year's RumbleJack. And so it's clear that he's got some unfinished business. And so he's going to come and potentially right some wrongs, and who knows, Jimmy Wang Yang could win the RumbleJack.
Save a horse.
Telling you.
You just never know. And that's the
You
thing.
don't know.
There's so many, like I said, so many people we don't know about yet. And as you mentioned, somebody like Jimmy Wang Yang, who was here last year, probably was not very pleased with the amount of time he was in the match. It wasn't very long.
Sure.
And so he's wanting to do a make good right here and come back.
Yeah, he put his daughter on restriction after that, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
He may have, but that's
Yeah.
just it. We don't know that other people that could have been here in the past that, didn't do what they wanted to do then could be returning. We don't know, but there's one way to find out.
Possibilities are endless. That's right.
One way to find out, and that's to come join us next Friday at the Action Building, 261 Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia. Tickets go on sale at the door starting at 5 o'clock. Front row is $25. I believe general admission is $15. And, doors open at 7, bell time at 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, fans, you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be awesome. It's one of our biggest shows of the year. We look forward to it every year. I can't wait. Y'all can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Woo! But hey,
I'm exciting.
until we see y'all there, and we better see y'all there.
Absolutely.
But until we do, this has been
SHW.
Wakanda forever.
Yes. Oh, what a trailer. Woo.
This has not been Wakanda forever.
Oh, no,
although
this is our
Wakanda
wrestling.
Forever would
Sorry,
be
my bad.
awesome.
I apologize. This is our wrestling. There we go.
Now you can do it.
T'Challa!